Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gentry build. Today I shall be stripping the engine and cleaning it and stripping it, ready for placement onto the chassis. I'm still waiting for a few parts for that until I can get it onto the chassis. So I thought what I'll do, I'll clean all the engine up as best I can. I'm not going super clean on this at the moment, because I've got to strip the whole thing down so I can get it rebored and reground crank and so forth. So I've just got the main grease off. Next job will be to take the cylinder head off. So I've got all the carburetors and exhaust manifold off on the other side, and all the parts on this side are all off. I've blocked up any holes just so I don't get any grease or crap going into the holes while I was cleaning it. One person did comment on the last video that he couldn't hear me very well, and suggested that I get a microphone, separate microphone. I have got one, but I just didn't bother putting it on. It's on now. I've got two. I've got a shotgun microphone which is on there, and I've also got a Wi-Fi one which I can wear on here, but I'm not that far away to warrant that, so I'm just using the shotgun microphone. He also said that he would have preferred me to actually see something. It was a bit like Blue Peter, where I'm sorry, I've just had a real bad coughing fit. And just wait for the car to go past. He said that it was a bit like the Blue Peter, where I said this is what I'm going to do, and oh, this is now how it's done. And he said he would have preferred to see me actually doing it. So I said okay, I will do that. I thought it might have been a bit boring what I was doing, which is why I edited about 20 minutes of that video out. But we'll see how this goes. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to leave the camera rolling while I'm taking the cylinder head off, just so you can see the stages of it. I'll move the tripod a bit nearer so you can see me working on it. And that's all I need to do today is just get this cylinder head off if I can. Depending on how long that thing has been on there, it might be pretty stubborn. And it's going to be interesting to see what the pistons are going to be like as well, because I bought this unknown as regards does it work or whatever. So I know that it's pretty seized up. That I do know. Not worried about that. I can fix that when I come to dismantle it. So cylinder head off, then I can put the block into the chassis with the gearbox fixed to the back end, and then I can align it properly for the 3.5 inches. It's got to go further back into the chassis. So the more I can take off, the easier it's going to be, basically. Right, so let's crack on, and I'll bring the tripod over here, and you can see me attempting to take the cylinder head off. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute. Bye for now. So before I start taking the cylinder head off, I just thought I'd show you around the engine what I have taken off. So distributor, fuel pump, bracket here for the alternator. This one did have an alternator rather than a dynamo, which is good. I will be taking the oil filter out, but not just yet. I'll do that once I'm ready to give it a proper clean, but I've managed to get most of the grease off, which you can see is pretty much on the floor. And if we go over here, you can see these are the components which I've taken off. So a few hoses, coil, fuel pump here, water pump there, thermostat housing, rocker box cover. Over here we've got the exhaust manifold and the carburetors, and a whole load of tubing which is primarily for the cooling. It's quite a neat system actually. It draws cooling in and passes along here to right the way through this manifold for the inlet manifold, and it stops any evaporation of fuel from the carburetor. There's a heat shield between the carburetors and the block to also eliminate any airlocks in the fuel from the heat evaporating the fuel. So that's that. So let's put the tripod on the camera, or put the camera on the tripod should I say, and we'll start cracking on. Okay, so see you in a minute. Right, hello again. Right, so we're ready to strip the rockers, these are the rockers here, off the cylinder head. And what I will do first is just to douse these bolts here on top of the cylinder head with some WD-40. I've already done it once, but I will do it again, just so it gives me a fighting chance to take these out. So I don't know how long this cylinder head's been on here. It might come off okay, but it might not. We'll just have to wait and see. Now there's obviously some more cylinder head bolts underneath here. They won't need any WD-40. It's just on the external ones. But first I need to take off these rockers and the push rods here. If I was just using if I was just taking the cylinder head off to refurbish it, I would keep the push rods. As I'm not going to be doing that, I'm going to be completely reconditioning the head for the new E10 fuel. So that will be hardened valve seats, new valves, new valve guides, and obviously new push rods. So I don't have to keep these in their order, which I would normally do if I was just taking the head off, doing a few bits and pieces, putting it back on again. Now I have, just prior to turning the camera on, just crack these nuts. These are the ones which hold down the rocker shaft pillars, which are these here. Now what's happening is that the push rods are pushing on the valves and so that is all under tension. And I was taught many years ago that taking the rocker shaft off, you do it from one end to the other. Otherwise, if you do it say in the middle to begin with, you'll get the rocker shaft bending in the middle. I don't particularly want to get a new rocker shaft, but we'll have to wait and see what it's like when I take it apart. So all I'm doing is I'm loosening as I go along from back to front. That will stop me bending the shaft, which goes all the way through. So I think pretty much there now. So that's loose, that's loose, that's loose, that's loose. So I now know that that rocker shaft assembly is not under any stress. So we can take these nuts and washers off. Even though I'm renewing all this, I am keeping everything. Every single nut washer. And I will always put it back. If you notice on the side here, I've put all the nuts and bolts back in their place. Everything. It's just so that I know what goes where. They won't be renewed, reused, but they, at least I can identify what kind of washers, what kind of nuts go there. So that should release this rocker on. There we go. So that's the rocker shaft along with the rockers. And they actually look quite good. Don't seem to be any play in those, which is good news. Okay, so now we can take the push rods out. As I say, I'm not going to bother about the order of them, because I should be replacing them. Plenty of oil in there still, even though I've drained it, which is a good sign. It means that the cam's been getting, the camshaft underneath that has been getting a lot of oil, so that's good news. So hopefully I might not have to get a new camshaft, but won't know that until we take the camshaft out to look at the bearings. Camshaft might be alright, but the bearings might not. Okay, so that's all the push rods out and the rocker assembly off. Now comes the hard bit of trying to coax these nuts off the studs. So you need to find the right lucky. I'm going to use a breaker bar to begin with. God, blimey. That's one. just that one centre one, and we should be there. And another stud. Okay, so that's all of them out. So I think, as you can see, that ain't budging. So what I might do, well not might do, I'm going to attempt to take these other remaining studs out. And see if that will help. Here we go. Ta-da! And it hasn't seized, or snapped rather. Brilliant. So I've still got quite a few to go. So I think what I'll do, I'll have a cigarette break and switch the camera off and then come back and we'll do these. In fact, I will do a couple first, because I don't want you sitting there bored out of your minds while I'm doing this. It's all the same repetitive process. Once I've got them off and I'm ready to whack this, I'll come and switch the camera back on. Okay? I'll see you in a minute. Bye. Right. I have my cigarette break, and about 3/4 of an hour later I'm still pretty much at the same place, apart from I've got all the studs out except this one here, and the head is loose, I know that, But this one here, this stud, has proved to be an absolute mare. But I think it's turning. So, fingers crossed. Let's try it. Now, the damn spring is in the way. There we go. Gotcha. The sweat is just streaming off me. Never say die. Never say die. I assume that stud is turning. Yeah. So this should release the head. Hopefully. Staying to the bitter end. Gotcha. Right. Now will that head lift? Hey, look at that. Straight off. Oh. Yo. Actually, the pistons look actually really good. Bit of coke on it, but not much. Brilliant. That was a job and a half. But it's all good fun. It's all good fun. So that now is pretty much it as far as I want to take it. So I'll finish there, I think. Take these cam followers out if I can. Yeah, take these cam followers out. Then we're good to go. There's no obvious bypass on the head. Oh, sorry, on the top of the block. It's good. Oh, that's pleased me. Comes in the oil ways, but that'll all be cleaned up when it goes for a rebore. Good. Right, that's it, folks. I don't know whether this video will be interesting, if that's the word. seeing me take this all apart. I suppose it does show you that I do the work and not say here's what I've done the night before. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. That's going to make it a lot more manageable now to get it into the chassis with the engine hoist and the gearbox mounted. So at the moment I'm waiting for some nut and bolt kit to bolt the gearbox to the back plate. Gearbox is over there, ready to install. So I can bolt the gearbox onto that and then lift the engine and the gearbox with the hoist onto the chassis. Put the new engine mounts on here, both sides, and on the gearbox mount, and then I can lower it into position, and I will probably in the first instance just put it in there in its original position. But as I keep saying, I want to move this engine 3.5 inches back from the original, and that's purely because two factors. One is better weight distribution, so I haven't got that much, it's literally that much weight over the front axle, and that much weight going right the way through makes an awful lot of difference to the handling and going around corners. So moving this back 3.5 inches is going to give me better weight distribution, and it's going to give me, also importantly, more room in the front for a good cooling system for the radiator, because the Gentry bonnet or engine bay area is very narrow at the front. Obviously it's got a small radiator, so it's very narrow, it's pointed like that with the wings down here, so there's not an awful lot of room up the front where the grille is. So I need to make more room so I can get a decent radiator and fan in there. I might go viscosity or electric, I don't know yet, for the fan. But anyway, that's the reason for moving it back 3.5 inches. It's to give me better clearance at the front for the radiator. More importantly, is to give me far better weight distribution at the front. And with a thicker anti-roll bar, then that will really help. And yeah, should be good. Okay, right, that's it for now. I'll post this video up, and hopefully you will enjoy it. I might have to edit some of it because it might have gone on for too long. I don't really want it going more than half an hour if I can help it, but if it does, well, so be it. Right, okay, catch you later. Bye for now. Bye.